Oh, gee willikers, I didn't even see you there. How might you be doing? My name is Bo, and I'm here to tell you about the mayor of Cuckfield. Now, you're probably wondering, where is Cuckfield? It's a very valid question. I didn't expect you to know. Well, Cuckfield, simple enough, is in the United Kingdom. If we take a look at our map here, and zoom in a little bit close, we realize that it's on the British Isles, about 30 miles south of London. If we zoom in, we can tell it's a very small city, very few streets, very few neighborhoods spelled with an U, obviously. We realize that there are many pubs and many shops that make up the downtown area. Believe it or not, Cuckfield started as a market town, so people would come and buy the things they needed, as simple as that. Well, another noteworthy fact is that the town symbol is that of the cuckoo bird. Now, you're wondering, why the cuckoo bird? That seems very strange. Well, simple enough, it is very strange. Nobody even knows why the town symbol is the cuckoo bird. But wait, it gets stranger. People have custom denominations called cuckoo dollars. That, my friend, is very cuckoo. They can use these dollars to buy various things throughout the town at the local shops and local pubs. Insane, I do say. Well, that's pretty strange, is it not? Well, just wait. It gets stranger, Mr. Mayor says. Cuckfield is home to the world's most corrupt election. That is, according to the world and all of their critics. A famous man once said, "You can't buy votes. That's a no-no." That famous man being Dr. Nathan Griffith, Belmont University professor. Now, upon deeper evaluation, it does seem that that statement is full of lies, simply baloney. Well, welcome to the Cuckfield mayoral election. You can buy votes, as simple as that. Want to buy 5 votes? Want to buy 10 votes? You can do that. So, 1 vote equals 1 penny. Everybody has a penny on them. So, a problem you run into this, though, is you'll have all kinds of candidates running. Well, in 2006, Cuckfield had 40 candidates decide to run. The only requirement is that you must live in Cuckfield. 40. That is such a high number. Well, assume we have 4 top vote getters. How do you allocate the money? Well, it's simple as that. You put the money on the ones you want to win the most. So, say I put my money on the person on the far right. He's the winner because he has the most money. Now, the very cool thing is that all of the candidates are sponsored by pubs. What's better than beer and money? Absolutely nothing. So the question we must ask is who won? And how do you determine who wins? Well, simple. Whoever gets the most votes, aka the most money, they win. And the next question is, where does the money go? Another valid question. It goes into the town pot. The money will then be used for town projects, local charities, etc., etc. A very good idea, I do say. So, could it work for the United States? Boom! Stars and stripes right here. Well, let's look at it like this. Let's not look at it at a school board aspect, or a county council, or even a mayor, but the President of the United States. Now, in our system, we'll say that 1 vote equals $1. Everybody has a dollar on them. I have one in my pocket right now. Let's use the 2016 election as an example. So, we have Mr. Donald Trump, multi-billionaire and author of Art of the Deal. We also have Mr. Jim Webb, former Secretary of the Navy from Virginia. Now, everybody knows Donald Trump. Nobody knows Jim Webb. Who is Jim Webb? Jim Webb doesn't ring a bell. Well, simply, Donald Trump is a multi-billionaire, so he could have all kinds of money allocated towards his campaign and put on him to vote. So, you could say that Donald Trump wins this one, and Jim Webb, you can have a high five or something. Now, these 2 men. Does anybody know who these 2 men are? No? No? Well, these 2 men are the Koch brothers. Now, the Koch brothers are infamous for having a lot of money and donating very charitably to political campaigns. They have a combined net worth of $88 billion, and they have budgeted $889 million to allocate in the 2016 election. That's astounding, and they can manipulate votes easily. So, what are some drawbacks of this system? Well, this essentially turns into a popularity or fiscal contest. The people with the most money will most likely have the most power. So how are minorities or underrepresented groups elected? Well, that's a very good question. minorities may not have a lot of money, or simply that, they're minorities. They just do not occupy a large percentage. Also, it might increase the divide between the already divided parties, both arguing and fighting over money. And, well, it's not the nation's voice. If you have 5 large donors, and multiple other donors only casting $1, well, then the 5 large donors have more weight. Also, you might get multiple and underqualified candidates. You could have 400 candidates. Could you imagine that? 400 candidates for the United States president? And the most valid question is, where does the money go? Well, let's look at some of the positives. It's a relatively easy system to understand. If you're paying by $1 each time, that's pretty easy to count. Voters are able to show intensity of preferences based on how much money they allocate towards each candidate. If you like Donald Trump, then you might allocate $5, but if you love Donald Trump, then you might allocate $20. Also, it's still an optional vote, nothing compulsory about it. So if you decide not to vote, well, then simply that, you decide not to vote. So the question must be asked, can this work? Well, let's fix this. First, set a cap donation limit. We can't have the Cook brothers be donating $889 million. Maybe $100 is a reasonable amount. Second, money that you put towards your candidate can come out of your tax returns because, well, everybody must pay taxes. And for ties, you must host a 12-hour runoff that is donation-based again. So, what is the result? Well, simply said, this works. However, it works only for Cuckfield, and potentially small elections for county council or school board. But for Cuckfield, this seems to be working mighty fine. For the United States president, maybe not so much.